Welcome to Joellen's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a Pennsylvania Dutch dish, and it's kind of a spread that you can put on butter bread or crackers, something of that nature, and it's really good. It's called apple butter. And of course, to make apple butter we need apples, and I've been working on my apples here today. We need 6 apples, and we need to peel them and core them, and then we're going to quarter them. And how we start this is a cold process, and we move on to a hot process. Overall, you're going to be cooking this apple butter for 2 to 2.5 hours until it's thick like a spread, and boy is it yummy. Of course, this time of year is when the apples are coming in. It's fall, and we think of the wonderful smells of fall, the pumpkin pies, the apple pies, and the spices that you use to make them. And the apple butter is really down the same lines. We're going to be adding cinnamon and cloves, and as I said, cooking it for about 2 hours. So if your man likes to smell cinnamon cooking, apple butter is something you've got to try. We also have an apple cider festival out at Litz Park coming up, and there it is lots of fun because you can buy apple cider pressed right there. You can buy caramel coated apples, and they're huge, either just plain in caramel or dipped in nuts. Of course, you can get apple butter, you can get apple dumplings, apple pies, just anything apples out there, and it's just so much fun. So what we're going to do is quarter these apples a while. It just takes a second to flip through those. That doesn't take a lot of time. And I've got my blender out today, and what we're going to be doing is putting in the liquid ingredients first with the spices and mixing those a bit, and then dropping the apples in maybe 3/4 at a time until we get a nice juicy pulp. So we're going to start with 3/4 cup of apple cider. Now, if your area doesn't have apple cider, you can substitute unsweetened apple juice. We also need 1/3 cup of white sugar. We'll put that in. And depending how much cinnamon you like, you want to put 1 or 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in. I don't think you can ever get too much cinnamon, quite frankly, so I always put 2 in. And then 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and drop that in as well. And then we're going to put our top on and mix that a bit. And we're going to keep pulling this off and drop about 3 of these quartered apples in at a time. To use yellow delicious apples. They're my favorite kind. But if you have another kind of apple you'd like to try, go for it, because I'm sure there's lots of delicious kinds of apples out there. This is going to make a full container here on my blender. And depending on your blender, you may have to coax it along and take it off and run the spatula down the sides once in a while or something, so that it makes sure that you get all the pieces chopped up in there. Now what I need is a pot to cook my apple butter in. Hold on. I really like this big copper saucepan. Things don't stick in it, and it's just wonderful to use. It heats up quickly, etc. So we're going to pour in our, it's almost like an applesauce, isn't it? Yeah, I guess you could call it that. I'm going to get my spatula so I can get every last drop out of there. Well, I'd say that's pretty good, actually. Time to start cooking. We're actually going to bring it for a boil. What we're going to do is turn down the heat for the first hour to try and reduce it and let the juice evaporate. And then the second hour, and just let it simmer, okay? We're ready to start cooking. And of course, I'm going to cook it on my old-fashioned cook stove. I'm just going to set that on there like that. And if I turn on the fan, I'll drive the neighbors crazy with the smell. They're going to say, "What are you baking today?" So let's do it. Okay, remember how much apple butter we started with, and it had to cook for 2.5 hours? That's what I ended up cooking mine, to reduce it till it got dark in color and most of the liquid was evaporated. So what I have left is apple butter that I'm going to put into more or less a vertical container so I can put it in my refrigerator. And I'm actually recycling a soup container from Panera Bread, would you believe that? But comes in handy. It's about the right size. Actually, I probably could have done with a half of this. This is a full quart, 32 ounces, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm going to use. It's pretty warm yet, and when it cools down, then I'll try it. I just don't want to overdo with the hotness and burn my tongue. Alrighty. So those 6 apples, the way I cooked it down, gave me about a full pint of apple butter. So I'm going to put that in the refrigerator to cool down, and we'll have it in the morning. It's actually very healthy, and that's the second healthy thing I made in a row. So next time I might have to splurge and make something really sweet or something that will just blow you away as well. So thank you for joining me as we made our apple butter today. Bye.